Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Adam's Quest. In the last episode, we ran into two new and very colorful faces wandering around our swamps. The first one was Rare, and we consider her to be the queen of the swamps. It's very likely that she was wandering this place long before our tribe even set paw on this island. She's a little bit older than most of the rogues we've seen before, so that means she has quite a bit of experience to lend, and hopefully something regarding all of these bugs too. These bugs have been an absolute nuisance, and Kukirkir can definitely attest to that. We might want to bring him out of the swarm, in fact, maybe down here to be closer to the permanent nest inside the den. That way his mate will be able to have her next baby too. We'll just have a leap, maybe hop his way out, take his very first leap out of the nest, if you will, and then Rare should be able to pick all of those poison berries that are left. We'll bring Cricket up here too to hopefully once again take care of that swarm. He's actually going to have to train up his two little sons very soon too. They're going to make their way deep into the jungle to continue his father's life work as soon as the twins are old enough to do so. The new babies in the nest was actually what kind of drew Rare near in the first place. She was hoping that she might be able to find the son that she lost. They were separated very, very early on, probably right after this little platypus prince was born, this radioactive duck that has thankfully washed up on a very friendly shore. So Kuvan has found himself in the company of our water babies, which is, in all honesty, kind of perfect for him. Thanks to that platypus beak, he should be able to dig up tons and tons of food on the ocean floor. We'll just need him to find some of those water-breathing plants, and thankfully Roro knows just where to look. Since his mate has just passed away too, he might be feeling a little bit nostalgic right now. Maybe he would like to return to his homelands and show his babies where he used to live. For that matter, maybe he's feeling a little bit guilty for leaving his mother. Now that he has babies of his own, he knows how much that must have affected her, so he wants to see if she's still around. But they'll have to convince Kuvan to go with them first. I mean, clearly he's going to want to see if he can find his mother because he's just a tiny little baby right now. It's so hard to see his gems because they blend in so well with his fur, but he only has one to work with. So that means he could have actually been scooped up by this bluebird too. We're very, very lucky that we noticed him in time, and we're super lucky that he settled so close to Roro. He can't really do much else right now though, so we'll leave him right there, so he can maybe play in the flowers with his new little brothers. Something tells me that he would try to act a little more regal and sophisticated though, a little bit more so than his platypus beak would allow, because he's supposed to be the king of the swamp someday, don't you know? So he has a lot of responsibility riding on his shoulders, and he needs to look the part. Now let's see if we can maybe have one more baby between Ladybug and Cricket before they start making their way deeper into the jungles. We have to be careful about this though, because of course tiny little Bumble is still in the nest. I'm a bit annoyed that we had to separate the twins, because that means that Bumble is now a little bit younger than Beetle. But I mean, I guess it works. Bumble does seem like he would be the smaller and clumsier of the duo, so now he really looks the part as well. But we have to make sure that somebody is going to be able to protect him, even if we move a Ladybug out of the nest. I guess what we could do is bring Beetle maybe over here for now, and then move Cricket down to this tile. That way he's still protecting most of these families from the bugs, but then we can move Ladybug over here to breed with her mate, and then we'll have her set up a nest right here instead. It was really the thorns that got in our way. I mean, it seemed like such a good idea to trap our babies, essentially, inside this barrier. And if there was a Berryina involved, it probably would have been okay. As long as it didn't sneak to this tile at least, that would be a disaster. Maybe we'll have to remember to set up some sort of emergency exit next time, but we'll need somebody who's very strong because that would take away quite a bit of their lifespan. Now this family back here, our little family of shamans, are currently dealing with a visitor of their own. There is a rogue male in the area, so that's why Sarala is remaining so vigilant. She needs to keep a watch over her babies, and I think we're going to leave her in this location. We'll wait to have her next baby for now, until this area is definitely secure and they don't have to worry about any rogue males knocking on their door. I did forget to name this little baby in the last episode though. I wanted to give her those kind of like mystical, quiet, mysterious names, like her family is so well known for, especially because she's so connected to their powers, so we'll name this little one Whisper. She has the shaman's curse. She is very sick with her double immunity genes, so that means we're going to want to keep her quite far away from the rest of our tribe, at least once she grows, once Ghost doesn't have to watch out for her anymore. We're just going to cross our fingers that he doesn't end up getting sick too. But that's kind of what I was hoping for that family anyway. They're going to act like the distant observers, watching over the deaths and the births in the tribe, but not getting directly involved, kind of performing their rituals from afar. Now, meanwhile, poor little Summer, she has gotten absolutely beat up on this island. She got infected by the sleeping sickness, she has a leech now, and she's bleeding, so she could definitely use a little bit of rescuing. We'll bring Fang over here to pick the leech off of her, lick her wounds, and then hopefully we'll keep a better eye on you this time. They did manage to take care of that carnivorous plant, so maybe if they're still in the area once it grows back, we'll see what they can do with it next. We'll see if it grows back with the same taste for all of our creatures. Now Isla over here is probably going to be taking on the bluebird feathers very soon. Mamba must actually be feeling quite anxious right now because she's so close to those swamplands. But she came here because the bluebird guided her in this direction, so she assumes that Isla must be the one who's meant to take on those bluebird feathers. For now, she can use her poison fangs to make sure her mother is fed, and then Mamba can go ahead and clear out some of this grass to the best of her ability. Let's bring Eclipse up here first, just to make sure that nothing is sneaking around in the area, especially that rogue male. I guess there's always the possibility that he may have made his way down to the shore, and then he could definitely get to our creatures. So we'll have to just keep a very close eye on all of the happenings inside the grass. In fact, let's sniff around again just to see if maybe he's lurking nearby. No, he has definitely hightailed it out of here. So that leaves just the twins with their turns, and I don't think Beetle would want to get too far away from his younger brother. In fact, if we bring him down here for now, then maybe he could see the birth of his newest little sibling. Let's cross our fingers that some of these are females too, because I have noticed that most of our babies have been males lately. Oh, the bugs disappeared. Excellent. There must have been too many stinky tails in this area for that guy to handle. I don't think this baby has the stinky tail though. Oh no, that's a little bit unfortunate. Though with the swimming tail, maybe she would like to say hello to some of our water babies in the future. She is quite pretty though. It looks like she has the same fur color as her father, and she's also carrying some more rare genetics in her line, like the antlers and that inactive trait and the big ears too. So I think we'll name this little baby Cicada, after another type of bug, of course, just like everybody in her family. Somebody mentioned that they found it funny that this family is named after bugs, since they're meant to chase all of the bugs in the swamp away, but I guess that just means it was meant to be. So it looks like Bumble finally has his second gem, so we should be able to take him very safely out of the nest. In fact, he can scoot way up here. Alright, and hopefully your brother can follow you. Yeah, it looks like Bumble and Beetle are going to be charging their way into the grasslands pretty soon. We could have them play leapfrog all the way up to our little shaman family, though we'll have to be very careful that they don't get too close. I'm sure Ghost and Sorala would mention as much, so they don't risk catching her illness. She is well enough, however, to take on her very first gem. So I thought for this line, since it's something special, we would give them a combination of those two gem colors again. We'll give her first gem the gold color, and then I think the one right in the middle will be blue, to signify that she's part of Ghost's very, very mysterious line. So once again, let's try sniffing around in the area, just to see if that rogue male is out and about. Though so far it looks like the island is quite quiet at the moment. Oh, and not only that, but the carnivorous plant has grown back safely. It has that green aura around it again, which means that we could potentially pick some more of its fruit. But in all honesty, I think Summer might want to catch up to her son pretty soon. She's probably a little bit worried about him because she hasn't seen him in so long, and she wants to make sure his expedition is going well. I'm not sure that Fang has even met her older brother yet. Her adopted older brother anyway, because technically they're not related by blood, but Quill needed somebody to look after her youngest before she passed away. But it looks like the newest baby to grace the Swamp Queen's nest is not with the toxic body. He has the normal colors that we're used to seeing on all of our other creatures, not the super bright and vivid ones like Leap is sporting right now. He does look quite a bit like his mother though, with his lovely derp snout, and yet again it seems like the antlers are in his inactive traits. So we might actually be able to pull that out on our babies pretty soon. That was one of the traits that we needed to spend time inside a colder environment to unlock in the mutation menu. So if we can get it through other means, through the new blood that we pull into our tribe, then all the better. But he does have those frog toes, just like his big brother Leap. So I think we'll call this little baby Hopper. He actually almost reminds me of a lion in a way, despite the frog toes of course. Maybe it's just the fur color. We'll have to consider that in the future because we are planning on going off to these savanna ports pretty soon as we take care of all of those stinky fruits in the jungle. Oh, and I think Kuvan might have a second gem? Oh, excellent. That means that you can move around quite freely, just like tiny little gravel. My goodness, how tiny does he actually look compared to Kuvan? I guess the toxic body is bigger than I thought. It certainly has a very fluffy appearance, and it gives him that regal look that he was hoping for. But now I think Roro should be ready to take his children back down the shore to see if they can find his old home. Since they don't have any way to dive back into the water right now, and since it's not guaranteed that they'll be able to find any healing fruits on this side of the island, I don't want to risk them drawing the attention of the ape in the jungle. Thankfully, we're far enough away that we haven't seen it lurking around yet, but I don't want to take any chances with so many young babies in the area. So we'll have Roro lead the way. He'll light up the pathway just down the shore. Oh, but Kuvan is so slow. Oh, I almost forgot because it's so hard to see thanks to his toxic body. He actually has one of the no paws. You can just barely see it kind of burrowed into his fluff. That must be why he lost his mother so early on then. Maybe she didn't know that he couldn't keep up? Well, we'll have him hop as fast as he possibly can, but I guess his little brothers are really going to have to watch after him. We'll have Gravel come over here for now to pick some of the berries, and then Roro will continue lighting the pathway just to make sure everything is safe ahead. And he's already found one of his little healing fruits. Excellent. So that means that somebody should be able to scoop that up on the next turn, and hopefully we can find some extra food. Now I think our little swamp den should be able to handle just one more baby from each of these families. So we'll scoot Ladybug over here. It should be much, much easier for us to breed these two, now that we don't have the twins in the way. Then she can come up here to her previous nest. Oh, and it looks like we have a bunny. Okay, Leap, I think you're going to have to watch your father as he darts into the swamplands and chases after this little morsel. Hopefully he's not close enough to draw the attention of the ape now. Alright, I don't see it yet. We'll just keep a close eye on that because that's where Cricket saw him before. And then Leap, of course, adventurous little soul that he is, would probably go hopping right after his father. We'll bring him over here at least so he can see him easily while he's picking up these berries to bring to his newest little brother. And with that, Cricket can finally chase after his two very mischievous sons. They know that they have a lot of training ahead of them, but they seem to be more interested in playing right now, so they're kind of getting ahead of themselves, but who does that remind you of? Cricket was also very, very adventurous in his young age. Maybe we can shuffle these creatures around a little bit? I didn't want to bring them quite so close to the pathway that we took before. I was hoping to bring them around the opposite end of the island, so we could try to pick from this tree over here. That way, if we're super, super lucky, maybe the ape won't even know that we're around. I guess if we move Ghost over to this side of his baby, then we can set Sarala up right by his side too, to do a little bit more poking around in the grass. Oh no, good thing we didn't have them take this pathway because they wouldn't have gotten very far at all. That is good to know that it's kind of blocking our babies though. That's one less pathway that some predators can take instead. And that means Cricket should be able to safely resume his journey. It must be sad and a little bit confusing for this baby in the nest, who knows that she's not supposed to interact with the other creatures around. Other creatures her age too, who are just having fun in the grass, playing around like children are meant to. She's too sick and weary, and she has far too great of a destiny to waste. So we'll have her stay right there, and then we'll move back to our bluebird family again, as unfortunately Mamba is just about to pass away. So this is the perfect time for her to offer those bluebird feathers to her daughter. Isla is going to take them on and begin to prepare the tribe to migrate to the next island in their adventures. She has heard more than enough stories of Adam's old ways to make her feel ready for the task. We just need this family to find the rest of the tribe first. Eclipse, I would imagine, probably doesn't enjoy the dark swamplands too much either, so why don't we bring him over in this direction? That way he can unearth some normal berries for himself to eat, but he can also follow the stream right up to the north, and maybe even run into those creatures that we're looking for. But that marks the last of our turns for this day, so let's go ahead and scoot to our swamp den again to see if this little baby will hopefully have the stinky tail that we're looking for. Oh, it looks like it's raining again. That might not actually be a good thing, because that means all of those puddles are back, and that's where those nasty bugs are going to start spawning. So we'll want to move our creatures like a leap out of harm's way very, very quickly, and in the process, let's just sniff around, see if we can spy any silhouettes of the apes wandering in our direction. Everything looks okay, so let's return to our baby over here in the nest, our very brightly colored baby. He must have a little bit of the summer shores in him too. Unfortunately, no stinky tail. He has the same swimming tail as his big sister. But you know, with those big ears, I've always wanted to name a big-eared creature Chime. Not only because the name is super cute, but I feel like it would go really well with his genetics. He would be much more sensitive to sound with the big ears on him, so maybe he enjoys the natural music of the island. Maybe he would even come up with his own music too. But I think one of our babies has unfortunately been left unprotected now that our swamp queen has passed away. So Leap, you are going to have to literally leap to your little brother's side to make sure he's safe. I hope 2 gems is going to be enough to protect him. I believe that is the case, but just in case, let's make sure that your father makes it back pretty soon. We'll have him gather up that meat and then scoot his way around the bend until he's right by your side again. That was a little bit close. A little bit too close for comfort. But strangely enough, it seems like the bluebird is hovering closer to the jungle tree, maybe closer to our shamans as well. I wonder if the bluebird can feel that same strange energy in this family. Well, let's sniff around again to see if the rogue male is in the area. Now, it looks like he is still in hiding, waiting for us to make the wrong move. But I guess that means the area is as safe as can be to let Sorala have her next child. We just have to move a whisper in the right direction. You know, honestly, I wonder if a ghost might be hearing little whispers himself from his mother Mooneye. A little bit of guidance to urge him to send his children off into different corners of the island. That way our shamans will truly be able to watch after all of these different little factions, and everybody will be able to take part in their rituals too. As it is, Ghost has been running himself absolutely ragged, trying to take care of each and every one of these lost souls. So let's have Whisper start making her way down the stream. Maybe it's the sound of the water that's calling her, like a little song from her grandma. And just as well, because that leads her quite close to where Isla and Eclipse are currently mourning over the loss of their leader, and the loss of Isla's mother as well. I think she would want to collect her berries, but maybe Eclipse would pull her out of the way, because she is very, very close to where all of those bugs are about to spawn. It's actually a little bit unfortunate that her mother passed away right inside that puddle, but maybe that's where Whisper can help out. Maybe that will be her first job to complete in the tribe. Now hopefully Summer is feeling much better. Oh, thank goodness you can finally move again. So she should be able to make it back to her son's side before she gets too old. I was getting a little bit concerned that she might not be able to make it back to her family after all. She will be sad to see that Mamba has passed away in the meantime. She did spend quite a bit of time with her when she was watching after Fang, so she probably wishes that she could have been right by her side too. But I suppose there's no use dwelling about it. That's not what Mamba would have wanted. But we can bring Sarala into the nest now. She can go ahead and pick up some of the grass in the area. I think it might actually be a little bit safer for her to use this nest for now though. There's no bugs around it, and it's definitely farther away from those apes. And despite their father's wishes, I'm wondering if Beetle and Bumble might just take that forbidden pathway after all. This would take us to the plants quite a bit faster. We'll just have to be careful. Honestly, since they do have the distasteful smell, I believe it's called, the distasteful scent, that means that the big-nosed apes shouldn't bother them. The only thing that is going to make that a problem is when they do pick the stinky fruits, because that'll take away the effects of that trait. Oh no, Cricket has blocked them in with a rock. He knew that his two little sons, his adventurous, mischievous sons, would try to sneak away from him somehow, and this was his way to combat that. So unless they're looking to maybe claw through some of these thorns, I guess they're not going to sneak away in this direction. This does give them a chance to maybe sniff into the grass though. Oh, what is that? Oh, I think that might be one of those plants where we can gather up nesting material. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but I think we saw that with Adam a very, very long time ago. Well, Cricket, maybe it's your turn to do a little bit more investigating too. Let's bring him over in this direction. Was it right over here somewhere? It's right on this tile. Yeah, that is exactly what it is. I think we usually see this plant on the mountains too. The Frostbite tribe used quite a bit of these to build their own nests, so maybe Cricket can take some of those back to his mate. But let's bring Ghost down to Sarala to make sure that she's going to be safe, and to watch after their next baby too, just in case it also has the shaman's curse. Then we can bring Bumble and Beetle back out from the thorns. Oh, they must be feeling so very silly right now. They were hoping that they could have their own grand adventures, but their father thwarted them easily. Well, Ladybug, you will be very proud to know that your mate is really watching out for your children. I guess we could bring Cicada right over here, so she'll be next to an adult still, but that'll give us room to move a Ladybug as well. So Chime will be able to grow up on this next turn. He won't have to stay as the one-gemmed baby like Bumble was forced to. Now I wonder how Kuvan might be feeling right now. He doesn't know it, but his mother has passed away. The Queen of the Swamps is no longer with us, which technically means that Kuvan would be the king of the swamps now. But until he finds out for himself, maybe the remains of this creature is just bringing back bad memories for him. And that's why he can't bring himself to hop any further down the shore. But he has his brothers by his side. I feel like they're probably starting to crack him at this point. Crack that very tough, sophisticated exterior. As they decorate his mane with flowers and play in the sand. I think they would also want to take Coral's remains back into the water. Maybe that's exactly what Roro is hoping to accomplish by scooping down here and picking up another one of these water-breathing plants. So he can show Kuvan firsthand how to dive deep into the water without fear of drowning in the process. He hasn't even shown this to his own two sons yet, so they have quite the surprise in store. But that should now be the very last of this turn. We'll just pick up some of those last little poison berries, and then we should be ready to skip the day yet again. So let's see if, oh no, the bugs are going to rise up from the swamplands. Oh my gosh, they descended upon our poor little creatures so very quickly. And now that all of our stinky-tailed individuals are unfortunately looking for a way to get into that jungle, we have a bit of a situation on our hands yet again. Maybe that wasn't the best idea to take every last one of them away. I guess I was hoping that one of our new babies would have the stinky tail instead, but maybe all that means is that it's time for us to abandon our swamp den. There's nothing left for us to gain here aside from the sleeping sickness. All of our babies are almost fully grown too. We just need Chime to get his very last gem before we'll be able to move him away from his mother. So I think that's what this tribe is going to focus on next. This little faction of the tribe anyway. We'll bring Leap up to the grasslands so he can scout ahead and see that we have a brand new little baby in our nest too. This guy is very cute, and look at that, he doesn't actually have his sister's curse. So what do you guys think? Would that mean that he's a little bit less connected to Moon Eye in some way? Or would he still have those shaman powers? Would he still be able to maybe help these souls pass on to their next lives, just like his father and just like his grandmother? He has the big nose too, which is actually quite nice. That's something that we haven't seen on too many of our babies recently. So that'll give him the opportunity to sniff into the grass, maybe spy any potential dangers, read into the future of our tribe mates so he can warn them about the dangers coming their way. In fact, I think we'll name this little baby Trance. Oh my goodness, and look how many babies we've had in this generation. Compared to the others, this is going to be quite an interesting mix of personalities. We have quiet, withdrawn shamans. We have very colorful, poisonous little frogs. We have platypus princes on the shores, and then we even have our adventurous stinky duo making their way further and further into the jungle. They might actually be the heroes of the story, if they manage to outsmart the apes and pick up all of that fruit. And now that they've made their way right down to the shore, we won't have much longer to wait. We'll have Cricket and his family wrap their way right around the island, though we should probably sniff out any potential dangers along the way. I'm really surprised that we haven't seen that rogue male again. Where on earth do you think he ran off to? I mean, I guess there's always the possibility that he ran straight into the arms of the apes himself, or he's found a way to live with them too. Apes and rogue males banding together is not the kind of thing I would like to see on this island, but we can bring Whisper right down to the riverbend, right down to the shore, so maybe she could spy Eclipse on the other side. I think in the next episode, we'll see if she can find her purpose. When she joins this family right on the beaches, and she tries her hand at ferrying her very first soul. I wonder what our summer prince would think of that. He has the blood of the Lifebringer in him, so they're kind of at opposing ends of the spectrum. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!